Germany is a country that we've traveled to countless times before, but for some reason, Dusseldorf is a city that had managed to elude us. Well, we recently spent a weekend there, and let me tell you, this turned out to be one of our biggest travel surprises of the year. We arrived in Dusseldorf not really knowing what to expect, but over the course of 72 hours, we discovered this is a vibrant city with beautiful green spaces, a thriving art scene, architecture that'll make your eyes pop, traditions worth exploring, and more restaurants than we had time for. Now let us take you on a whirlwind weekend tour of Dusseldorf and show you some of the possibilities. It is lunchtime and I am so ready for food. Today we're going to be eating at Hausmann's. This is a restaurant that was opened by a really famous German chef, and they specialize in German food with a modern twist.
Hausmann's was started by chef Tim Meltzer, a television cooking show host in Germany. His restaurant had a relaxed yet artsy feel with cool murals, industrial lighting, and mismatched furniture. And when we saw the menu, we knew what we were getting: currywurst.
Check it out.
Behemoth portions.
I ordered myself the currywurst with fries, and oh my goodness, I think I'm going to be needing some help with this.
I think that's the biggest currywurst we've ever ordered anywhere.
This is a must when in Germany. Feeling stuffed from lunch, we opted to skip dessert, but we somehow ended up at an impromptu mustard tasting. We are currently at Löwensenf, and this is a mustard shop. Apparently this mustard is a specialty here in Dusseldorf. So let's have a look. Apparently they have 40 different varieties, and I'm kind of interested in this one, honey flavored. So let's try some. Let's see what honey flavored mustard tastes like. I think this one's popular.
It's almost empty. You know it's good when it's almost empty. What do you think?
It's pretty nice. That's sweet. So it is time for Killer Pitch.
Yes, so we're going to be having a local herbal liquor, and there's a bar that you can go and get a tasting, and right next to it a shop. So first we're going to go to the bar. All the food and alcohol called for a little break, so we went back to the Me and All hotel where we were staying. This hotel is located in the Japanese Quarter, and they've really played that up in terms of their fun design. After writing our bucket lists on the reception wall and challenging Audrey to a game of air hockey, it was time for a long siesta.
For today's dinner, we are getting a little taste of Canada. We're at Puytenberg, where they serve poutine. The Canadian poutine.
And look at this, the Canadian flag to prove it.
The poutine was delicious, and the beauty of eating with friends is that we each ordered a different style of poutine to share. We got everything from classic Quebec to Tijuana street fries and barbecue pulled pork to Montreal style. Alright, so the food has arrived and it looks amazing.
Seriously.
Check it out. I ordered the Tijuana fries, which came with avocado, sour cream, tomato, cilantro, lime. Let's squeeze some lime. I think this is gonna be good.
That guacamole looks awesome.
OMG.
And then over here, I got the classic Quebec, Canadian poutine, and this is just supposed to be cheese curds and gravy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna compare and contrast.
Compare and contrast.
Yours looks pretty good. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's not poutine, but
it's a Mexican twist on a Canadian dish. In Germany.
In Germany. You like that?
Guacamole. So good.
Game changer, guacamole.
If there are any Canucks out there missing home, this place is a must visit. So next up we are visiting Königsallee, which is the King's Alley. This place is all about high-end shopping and it's considered the Champs-Élysées of Germany. However, we've also discovered this is a really nice place to go for a walk, so we're going to show you the canal. So we just finished visiting Königsallee, and honestly it was such a pleasant surprise. Even if you're not into shopping or high-end brands, it's a beautiful area to go for a stroll. It's so green and you have ducks and geese and cafes, so we would definitely recommend checking that out. So high-end fashion may not be our thing, but not too far from Königsallee, we came across a quirky shop called Vaseline on Wallstraße. Inside, they had the most curious collection of one-of-a-kind items, including a comic strip suit, a gold skull, and a pair of psychedelic goggles that wouldn't look out of place at Burning Man.
So next up we're visiting Karlsplatz, and I have to say this is my kind of place. It's a combination of food trucks and stalls, and I can't wait to check it out. Karlsplatz is pretty cool because you can either shop for cheeses, deli meats, and fresh produce, or if you don't feel like cooking, you can just go to one of the food stalls and enjoy a meal right in the market. This market really tested my willpower. It was so hard not to eat something because there's so many like really nice food options. There's a lot more like kind of gourmet upscale types of options too. Noticed a lot of people having like a nice glass of wine and what looked to be some really good meals. And so yeah, if we didn't have lunch plans already, I would have definitely had something here.
For lunch, we visited Zum Urige, a restaurant that brews its own alt beer on premises. Here we learned that the beer is always flowing and that the only way to indicate you're done drinking is by placing your coaster on top of your glass. Also, if you're going to be drinking alt beer, you need to pair it with boiled eggs, so we did exactly that.
What are you doing?
Okay, peeling my egg. I've been ordered to do so. Okay, so today we're going to be trying Zoll-Eier. So there's a very particular way of eating this. What you do is take the boiled egg, cut it in half, and scoop out the yolk, preferably without destroying your egg. You then add a little bit of vinegar, olive oil, and a generous dollop of mustard. You mix the whole thing into a paste, stuff it back into the egg, and voila! You've just prepared your first Zoll-Eier. Here we go.
You like that?
That's good!
That's good? What do you do after a lunch like that? Well, we signed up to take part in an interactive art installation. That's what.
Right, so right now we are at K21 and we're going to be taking part in this interactive art exhibition. It's called In Orbit. It's right behind me and it's basically like a giant human spider web. So let's start climbing. Alright, time to suit up. I probably should not have worn a dress, but didn't think this was happening.
These are your overalls, your worker's outfit, right? And are you gonna be like a human Spider-Man? You're gonna be Spider Woman climbing the web. How do you feel? Do you feel a little nervous?
Like a construction worker.
Like a construction worker. And how about the actual climbing?
I think it'll be fine.
You think it'll be fine? You're not scared?
Of course, once I got up there and realized I was dangling several stories above the ground, my cool flew out the window. I clamped my clammy hands onto the net and refused to move. I finally mustered up enough courage to crawl back to the exit, but here are my friends sauntering around without a care in the world, so maybe follow their lead.
Right now we're visiting Hofgarten, one of the many green escapes you can find here in the city, and it just so happens to be that there's a cool jazz festival taking place, so we're gonna go check that out right now.
Okay, so we've been having a lot of really great German food, but Dusseldorf also has an international food scene. Today we were all craving Indian, so that's what we're having for dinner. Come along. Our quest for Indian food brought us to Tandoori on Immermannstraße, where we each ordered our favorite curries, and boy was it good. This is amazing. We ordered so many different curries. We've got some chicken dishes, some cottage cheese, we've got rice, naan.
That's the nice thing about eating with friends is that we each...
You can share.
You can share, and we each ordered a different dish. How was that?
I'm so hungry right now. This is delicious.
After stuffing our faces, we went back to our hotel for some live music. The Me and All Hotel is known for putting on cool events, not just for guests, but for locals as well. And on this particular night, they had Sons of Time, a cool hip-hop band from Berlin playing.
Cause I put positive actions to all the wrongs I said. Just in case to my point of why I sound so mad. You don't listen, you're the reason I almost lost my head.
And I'm having one of my absolute favorites, Sambuca. I've actually acquired the nickname Sambuca Sam before, so this is how much I like this drink.
The following morning, it was time to explore Dusseldorf's artsy side, and what better place than a street where buildings are covered in giant works of art. Okay, so this morning we are exploring Viaud-Murat, and this is a street that's really known for squatting, alternative lifestyle, and obviously there's a lot of really cool street art. So we're going to explore this area, and yeah, it's gonna be really cool. The apartment blocks in Viaud-Murat were first occupied in 1905 to house the workers from the local steelwork. However, when these jobs shut down in the 70s, owners began to terminate their existing tenancy agreements and the buildings became municipal property. This marked the beginning of squatting as people looking for somewhere to live began moving into these empty apartments, and over time this became a hub for alternative culture in Dusseldorf. So this place is pretty much an Instagrammer's dream. Also, fun fact, we've just discovered this like free public library system. Over on the windowsills you can just see boxes full of books and you can grab one and it's yours to enjoy. Pretty cool.
After an art-infused morning, it was time to unwind, and what better way than a leisurely sightseeing cruise down the Rhine. This is the longest river in Germany, and you can even travel down to some of the neighboring cities by boat, but this visit was all about Dusseldorf, so we opted for the 1-hour cruise, which took us as far as the Media Harbor. So right now we're visiting Casematten, which is just along the Rhine, and it's a great place to go exercise, also to meet up with people for drinks or to have a little bite to eat. So yeah, we're just gonna wander around and check it out now.
From there it was a short stroll over to Altstadt, also known as the Old City. At first glance, Dusseldorf looks like a city of the future, but it also has its historic parts which are very much worth a wander. So one thing we like to do in every city we visit is go up a tower and get a bird's eye view of the city. Right now we're at the Rhine Tower and we're gonna see what Dusseldorf looks like from above.
The Rhine Tower stands 240.5 meters above Dusseldorf, and it gives you 360-degree views of the city. Here you can get a better idea of how massive the Rhine River really is, with giant barges traveling in either direction. And if you come up on a clear day, you might even be able to spot the neighboring city of Cologne off in the distance. So we're feeling a little peckish after visiting the tower, so it's time for my all-time favorite German snack, Currywurst. Oh my gosh, so excited to be trying this. Taking it for a massive swim in the sauce.
Go, 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 go.
Oh yeah, first bite.
Really hot. Really hot.
That is amazing currywurst. From there it was a skip and a hop to Medienhafen, where it pretty much felt like we had been teleported into the future. The architecture here is mind-boggling, and it's another fun place to wander around without much of an agenda. Or better yet, you can just plop yourself down at one of the many bars and enjoy the views. For dinner that evening, we opted to eat in the Japanese quarter where we were staying, and what better meal than sushi? With our weekend trip to Dusseldorf winding down, we only had time to sneak in one more adventure, and it was a good one. So sadly, it is our last day in Dusseldorf, but we still have time for one more activity. This morning we're doing a VW Beetle tour with Dusseldorf Safaris, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. With nothing but blue skies in sight, we put down the roof, left the city center behind, and enjoyed a morning of cruising down back roads until we found ourselves in the countryside. That's a wrap for Dusseldorf. We honestly loved our time in the city, and we can't believe it took us this long to visit after so many trips to Germany. If you're looking for a fun weekend escape that combines the best of urban living and nature, Dusseldorf is the perfect fit, and the food scene will also keep all of you foodies happy. Now you know the drill. If you have any travel tips or suggestions or other fun things to do in Dusseldorf, feel free to share those suggestions with travelers in the comments below. Wishing you happy travels, and until next time.